started in the late 1950s, early 1960s. The first that really, people messed with were the multi-track tape machines, which showed up on the scene, and they were mainly 4 to 8. I think they were track machines. An example of one of these machines is the Struder J37, which is a four-track recorder. This four-track recorder was also used to record the Sgt. Pepper's album by the Beatles in 1967. Excuse me. Later, when the 70s approached, the first large 32-channel mixing consoles came out with their own EQs and FXNs, which definitely helped engineers when it came to being creative and adding that extra spark to their project. Some names in the industry that are well known are Solid State Logic, API, Modest, and I think it's pronounced Neve. Later in the 1980s, SSL was one of the biggest names in the mixing console industry. They're also known for their compressors and EQs, which are really good. During the 1990s, we were introduced to DAWs, which are digital audio workstations. Excuse me, and Apple also, I think, started it with their computer. I can't really remember when that came out, but I know Apple definitely opened up the doors for creating music on computers. Uh, as the 90s continued, the mixing console industry was also introduced to digital consoles, which really didn't grab a lot of attention from engineers in the late 90s, but in the early thousands, they definitely started to use them a lot more because the workflow is a lot easier and you just do a lot more with digital. Today we use digital consoles a lot more than when they first came out. A lot of mainstream studios use digital and analog consoles, which definitely I've worked on the Matrix in school. It's a really cool console, and I honestly would recommend that console to anybody that want to start their own studio but don't have big banks. So I've also, with this presentation, I presented a couple slides of the names of the brands of the consoles that I just listed, and I'll tell you a little bit about those. This right here is the SSL SL9000J, and it's a 72 channel console. It's really good. This one right here is the SSL Matrix, which is the one I mentioned to you during the end of my speech, which is half analog and half digital. It's got 16 faders and a master section. It's a really good console. I think this one's priced at about 20,000, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm pretty sure this is the console I'm gonna think about getting when I get some money. This right here is the Struder J37, which is the four-track mixing or the four-track recorder that they use to record the Sgt. Pepper's album by the Beatles in the 1967, I think it was. This right here is the Midas Sienna, which is a live console. It's a really good console. I also worked with this in school. I didn't know anything about it for real before I got to school, but I'm definitely comfortable with it now, and I recommend it to people who love live music. If you want to get into that, venture of recording, not even recording, excuse me, but mixing bands during a live show. It looks complicated looking at it, but I'm telling you, once you actually read over the manual and understand the signal flow of it, it's a really good console to work with. This right here is an API analog console. I don't really know much about this console. I definitely know on the left side that is a patch bay, and the master section looks like it's a little bit to the right, almost to the middle. But this looks like an awesome console. It would be nice to work on something like this, but I'm pretty sure it's pricey. This right here is a analog setup. I tried to find the name of this console, but I really couldn't. Uh, I don't really know what the name of it is, but I definitely wanted to just show you guys this picture because of the setup is all analog, and I think it's really cool with the patch bay and the two tape recorders that he has. It's really nice setup right there. This right here is a it's a digital console made by Digico. It's the D5T. I just basically got this because I've never seen this console before, and I wanted to show you guys this is a really neat looking console. And the price tag on this is probably pretty high too. This right here is the Focusrite mixing controller. It's not really a console. It's basically like any other digital mixing controller that you buy, like the 003, something that controls a DAW while you're working. And this right here is the Tascam DM4800, which is a digital console also. It's really nice. I've seen this one in person, and I've had a little fun with it. But it would be nice to make some of my own projects on this. This is a really good console right here. And this right here is the Roland VM C7200. This right here is a mixing console. I'm pretty sure this is digital. It looks digital to me. It could be analog, could be both. Um, this console right here is something that I found on the internet, and I have the websites for all the consoles that I'm showing you guys right now.